It's happened. Matt Reeves has answered the bat signal. I'm Hector Navarro, and this is Screen Junkies News. Hey, Internet. Despite walking away from the table only 6 days ago, apparently, The Hollywood Reporter just announced that Matt Reeves is going to be replacing Ben Affleck as the Batman's director. Toby Emmerich, president and chief content officer of Warner Brothers Pictures, told all of Gotham, "We are thrilled to have Matt Reeves taking the helm of the Batman, the crown jewel of our DC slate. Matt's deep roots in genre films and his evolution into an emotional world builder make him the perfect filmmaker to guide The Dark Knight through his next journey." With me to talk about this surprise announcement are Dan Murrell, Joe Starr, and Miss Movies herself, Brianne Chandler. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Can I just say, first of all,
Yes.
talk about burying the lead. Slap in the face, Henry Cavill. Batman is the crown jewel of the
Superman.
DC slate. Sorry, Superman, you are 6 feet under, and there's a new bat in town.
You don't
it's
have
true,
to
though.
say it. You don't
it's
have
true,
to say
though.
it. We all know it.
Cinematically, it's Batman.
We all know it. Look, it's the same. If you're online dating and you check the bookmark, "I don't want to date outside of my race," don't check that bookmark. Don't say it. If that's just how you feel, then that's how you feel. You're racist. We all know it. You don't have to say it out loud, okay? If you're going to say to the world that Batman is your crown jewel, we all know it. It makes the most money. That's absolutely true. However, Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, the Justice League, Cyborg,
Nope.
Flash.
Well,
Nope.
I think
Such a bummer.
it's a little shade call to Marvel too. Maybe a little preemptive, but I definitely think it's Batman, the crown jewel. Like, we're coming for you, Space Raccoon. Like the train's back on the tracks, and we're coming.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, this cinematic universe may have started with Superman, but this is the confirmation that it is going to ride along with Batman.
That's
it is
such a
Batman.
bummer. I love Batman so much because he's the coolest. But you know what else is cool? The rest of DC superheroes. They're the coolest. They're the coolest. Where's my Martian Manhunter? Okay. Here's another important thing we have to talk about. Matt Reeves is also going to be producing the Batman, which is really, really cool.
Yep.
First question to you guys. What changed Matt Reeves' mind? What do you think, Brianne?
You know, I think Matt Reeves took a play out of the relationship handbook and decided, I'm going to walk away just for a few days, and then someone's going to propose. And they did. So I think what really is the reason why he's back is obviously money, 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 money.
Yes. Yep. Money.
I mean, that will bring anyone back.
Yeah.
Matt Reeves had the upper hand in this. He knew that Warner Brothers needed a director for this movie now. He knew that Warner Brothers wanted him to be the director for this movie, and yeah, it's Hollywood. It's negotiation.
Yes, there's
it's
blood in the water.
How much is Chris Nolan paid to direct Batman? How much was Zack Snyder paid to direct Man of Steel? How much was Zack Snyder paid to do Justice League? Well, how much am I getting paid? And then you call your agents, and they call all their agents.
That's not how all of Hollywood works, surely, right? It's so
Go watch La La Land again, Hector.
Well,
everybody dances and it's cool.
I think he's in a unique position too, in terms of that bargaining, because I think he has sort of this rep as like, I do these really cool genre films. You know, the Ape films aren't like small indies, but they haven't been these like massive blockbusters. I think they still fly kind of under the radar as like cool kid sci-fi. Would that be okay to say? Like
cool kid sci-fi.
Cool kids like that.
Hipster
Like kind
sci-fi?
of, yeah, like a little hipster. You know, he did Cloverfield, but he hasn't like stepped up and done one of these big major tent poles yet. And so I think there's a story there that he can also sort of bring to bargain with, of like, you're gonna bring me on to do the Batman, like the price has to be right, you know.
Sure.
But yeah, there's a lot of positives.
You mentioned that those Apes movies weren't huge movies, but he's got War for the Planet of the Apes coming out this summer. We haven't seen it yet. It could be massive.
Yeah.
It could be huge. It could be
Maybe the right people have already seen it, though, and maybe that's why they're going to pay this high price for him.
Absolutely.
That's what I would think.
I feel a little bad for that movie now because it went from, like, not only now is War for the Planet of the Apes one of the biggest movies of the summer, it is now going to be a referendum on the Batman.
Yeah.
And Matt
Absolutely.
Reeves as a director, and when he does publicity for the movie, they're not going to ask him about how they did War of the Planet of the Apes. They're going to do what they did with Ben Affleck on
They're
Live
gonna
by
ask
Night.
by Live by
They're
Night.
going to ask him about the Batman. It's going to be all Batman all the time for Matt Reeves.
Because he's the crown jewel, of course. It's
the
all
crown
Batman
jewel
all
of the DC
time.
slate.
Oh my gosh.
And now the two can cross over for Harambat.
Shouldn't Justice League, by the way, be the crown jewel of the
Get outta
DC
here.
slate?
I mean, look.
I would hope so.
It's Batman. The Justice League is the crown in the same way that the Avengers is. I don't know.
Right.
The Avengers is the Justice League. Iron Man is the Batman. So who's the crown jewel at Marvel? Is it Iron Man or is it the talking raccoon? I don't know. It's probably Iron Man.
Probably
But
Iron
it's
Man.
a thing that goes without saying. It goes with it. It's definitely. Sorry, Henry Cavill.
It's always the rich guy that gets all the fame.
We can all agree that it's not Superman.
What a bummer! It
Apparently.
should be. It should be.
Should be.
The way that one of the crown jewels of Marvel is Captain America, and when
Yeah.
you say that now, we can say it seriously. Like, no, yeah, those movies are great, and everybody loves that guy, and
Mm-hmm.
you know everybody takes him seriously. So it was just a big pile of money that changed Matt Reeves' mind, right? It was a big.
I think
pile of money.
Scrooge McDuck.
You know, based
Swimming in
on
gold.
stories we've heard too, on studio kind of getting involved at the 11th hour, there might have been like some restraining order agreements, sort of, for like past this point in my film, you go away. Who knows? I don't know how much sort of creative leverage he's got, but
Is there a possibility
part
that talks apparently fell through 6 days ago, and then they started back up because they were figuring out how to? I mean, I've said this before in different places. I'm looking for that silver lining. Is there a possibility that somebody like Jeff Johns, who's now in charge of this DC superhero slate of films, is in on these conversations? And when a director approaches with a vision, he can go, "That's not the Flash," or "That's not Batman," and we need to maintain this sort of vision. Is there a possibility that talks fell through because maybe it was close to a Rick Famuyiwa situation with the Flash or Edgar Wright with Ant-Man? And then they work something out where it's like, okay, we really do want your vision, but it needs to fit in our vision. So here's the compromise.
I'd love that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Love that.
this
Yes,
guy
Hector.
is. I mean, the producing is what really drew my eyes.
Yeah.
Not just the directing, but
Yeah.
he's now joining Affleck and Jeff Johns as a producer on the film. He is a writer. He wrote. Was a co-writer on this latest Planet of the Apes film. He wrote Let Me In,
Which he also directed.
Which he also
yeah.
directed.
Did he write Cloverfield as well?
He did not write. Drew Goddard wrote Cloverfield, but he
Goddard,
directed
okay.
Cloverfield. So that's going to be the next thing. Is I don't get this impression that he's a hired gun on this just to direct. He's
Right.
brings a lot to the table,
Yeah.
and when you add producer to that title,
And-
that connotes some.
And that's a hell of a trio to have together on a Batman film.
heck yeah.
I mean, I sort of in my head sort of see this Harvey Dent Gordon Batman on the roof meeting kind of going on with the three of them. I mean, that's three really cool people
Yeah.
to have together on
Matt
a film.
Reeves is definitely Gordon because he looks a lot like Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon.
Does a little bit.
Matt Reeves even had a quote. Hold that thought for 1 second,
yeah.
Brianne. I just want to read this thing in case you don't think that Matt Reeves had the Batman cred. He has said, "I have loved the Batman story since I was a child. He is such an iconic and compelling character and one that resonates with me deeply. I'm
Iconic.
incredibly honored and excited to be working with Warner Brothers to bring an epic and emotional new take on the Caped Crusader to the big screen." So there's some of his sort of love of Batman. I think it's safe to say everybody loves Batman. Like nobody.
yeah,
thinks
I mean,
he's
everyone's just
stupid.
like, I don't really care about Batman.
Exactly. Brian, what were you going to say?
I was just gonna say that I'm a little worried just about Ben Affleck in general. Like, what's his contract? Will it expire anytime? Is he for sure gonna be the Batman in this
Yeah.
film? And that kind of worries me a little bit. I don't know if anyone else shares that worry. I
think that we will eventually
if I think
see-
about it too much.
I think that out of all of the actors who have signed on to play superheroes, Ben Affleck is the one that Warner Brothers is not going to let walk away. Like, this is the one that's going
hope
to
so.
happen. I feel
Yeah.
like. Think about Brie Larson could still maybe not end up playing Captain Marvel for Marvel Studios. Like that, that stuff's far out.
Yeah.
And they're apparently hoping to start shooting this. What was it, this summer? Or
Well, that's
maybe
the thing is
next year, early next year.
Well, they're pegging. They think that they're trying to. There's no official release date. People are thinking they want to release this movie next year. But looking
Yeah.
at Matt Reeves' schedule, he's signed on to do a pilot for Fox, The Passage, that just happened a few weeks ago. He's deep into post production on Apes. A movie like that is not going to be out of post production until
The week before it comes out.
Exactly. I mean, they're not going to wrap that thing till May,
Yeah.
probably at the earliest. So, and now he's in pre-production here, depending on how involved he is creatively. I mean, they are really going to have to get this thing high gear if they want to get this out next year and deliver a great product, deliver something that doesn't feel rushed, that doesn't feel forced, which is why I think he was in that power position. I think Warner Brothers knows that, and they know they have to get somebody on board right now.
I think that, Brianne, you were saying before we started, you're still really excited about Ben Affleck as a producer. He's still staying on as a
Right.
producer. He stepped down from a director role because he said, I need to focus on the character, and this is going to be a huge endeavor. Are you still excited that he's involved, would you have preferred if it was Ben Affleck directing?
Well, I would love Ben Affleck to be directing, but I feel like sometimes I appreciate that he's able to say I want to focus on the character because he usually directs and stars in his own films
Sure.
a lot of times too, and it's just nice to say I want to focus and do this right.
Is Matt Reeves the right choice for this, you guys? You look at his filmography, look at his genre movies, you look at his little blurb about Batman. What do we think? Joe?
I mean, I think he's definitely an interesting choice. I don't think anyone really ever thought the Apes movies were going to be as good as they are, and
Yeah.
they're pretty great. Cloverfield came out of nowhere and impressed the hell out of people. You know, he doesn't necessarily have a movie that's like, oh, I can see that being a Batman blueprint, but I mean, he's a great genre director. So,
And he has a great visual style, which is something that a Batman movie needs. I
Yes.
mean, I think that's one of the reasons that Batman was the standout from Batman v Superman was that character lends itself to the Zack Snyder style, to that really stylized thing, that very kind of noir-y feel. And I think Matt Reeves can do that. And I mean, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was, on top of being a great movie, looked great.
yeah.
Really looked great.
It's a tough look to pull off,
A really
too,
tough look to pull off, especially when you're dealing with mostly computer-generated characters, and the fact that they were able to do that, make a great-looking movie. That's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to accomplish.
So what does this mean for the future of the Planet of the Apes movies? Does this mean he's not directing the apparent fourth one that they have in pre-production or that they have planned out? What does that mean?
Probably
Gotta get
not.
someone new.
Yeah, I don't know. Or
Maybe.
you hold. You wait. You
wait
say
for
we're
him?
going to wait a couple years, and I mean the Planet of the Apes franchise thus far has not been one that says I'm going to put one out every year. It's been what, 3 years since the last one.
Yeah.
Maybe if they want to, they can wait, but you can only wait for so long.
There was an interview with MTV during mid-November of 2014. Andy Serkis talked about possible sequels. He says it might be 3 films, it could be 4, it could be 5. Who knows? Their journey will continue. And then in October of last year, 2016, they announced that a 4th one is already being planned. So, Brianne, you said some new talent. Who do you want to see direct the next Planet of the Apes?
I mean, I'd love Catherine Bigelow.
That would be
probably
awesome.
my first choice of
If-
anyone that's going to take it over.
If the one this summer is War for the Planet of the Apes, if that's a war film, Catherine Bigelow has done war. Like, that would be a solid choice. That would be great.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Joe, Dan, you guys have any options for who you'd like to see tackle Planet of the Apes? If
Yeah,
it
that
can't be
sounds-
Matt?
That sounds pretty great.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I
watch that.
dig
All right,
that.
fine.
Yeah, I
Winner,
dig
winner,
that.
chicken
I'll
dinner.
book it.
Brianne, you just
Brianne
won
makes
the
a call.
internet.
Yep.
Yeah, you make a call. Thank you. Please call Catherine
Points.
Bigelow. That would be awesome.
I'm on the phone
You could
right
call
now.
Mrs. Bigelow. That would be fantastic. Guys, huge thanks to you guys for talking about this surprise announcement that happened today. I really appreciate it, Brianne and Joe and Dan. You guys are awesome and super handsome. We want to know, Internet, do you think that Matt Reeves is a good choice for the Batman? Who would you like to see direct the next Planet of the Apes movie if he can't do it? Let us know in the comments below. There's literally no wrong answer unless you say Matt Reeves should direct the next. Well, I guess he could still end up doing that. So you could also say like Dan said, just wait. And then I want to see Matt Reeves do the next Planet of the Apes movie. So there is no wrong answer. You say whatever you want in the comments below. Guys, we're Screen Junkies News. We have stuff every single day. You can click here probably for more stuff. You can be tweeting at us at SJ News. And I'm Hector Navarro. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.